Testing. All right. Today, we're talking about audio. There's a saying I heard very early in my career in video and film. It went something like this. Bad video can be justified as a style choice. Bad audio cannot. So it's a bit odd to me that entire communities are built around what camera you use, what lens you use, and all these videos that we see, they're all about cameras and lens choice, but you don't really hear people talking about microphone choice or audio recorder choice or anything like that. And to me, something that makes a film cinematic really is audio. It really comes down to how an image makes you feel. And a lot of times the feeling of an image is based on how that image sounds. Audio can be a daunting thing to edit properly, but if you think about raw audio in the same way that you would think about raw video, which is what a lot of our comparisons are going to be today, it makes the process a little bit easier to digest. Let's talk about the technical stuff behind good audio. The main microphone that you'll find on a film set is a condenser microphone. You can get these in large or small diaphragm models. Small diaphragms are things like shotgun mics like this one, and lapel mics are also small diaphragm condenser mics. The most common example of large diaphragm is something like a podcasting mic, like this one. This is my AT2020, and the shotgun mic that I have is an AT875R. I really like using Audio-Technica microphones. I've used them for my entire career, and I've had no problems whatsoever. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I'm not sure why they decided to name their products after fax machines, but that's neither here nor there. Generally, the best placement for good audio recordings is as close to the source of the sound as possible. Because of this, the general limitation is how close can I get to the subject before the mic is in frame. For the most part, you want to keep the mic about 3 feet or closer away from your subject. For instance, this frame I have right here is actually on a wide angle lens. Like I can step back all the way back here. You can see how wide the frame actually is, but where I'm shooting it, I'm about right here, which means the microphone is actually right there, literally just barely out of frame. You see what I mean? It's actually really close. It's only about a foot away from my mouth. As far as recording levels, I like to use a Zoom F4 as my main audio recorder. And for the levels, I like to hit between -12 and -3 decibels. For me, that gives me the best option between volume and clarity. So it's not too loud where I'm getting a lot of background noise, but it's not too quiet where I'm losing the volume and the clarity of the subject's voice. Also, now might be a good time to kind of preface the audio editing process. Just like video, there are specialists that are super talented at editing audio. A lot of them are called audio engineers. Now, I'm not that professional at audio editing in the same way that I'm not that professional of a colorist. But what I do understand are the basics for my needs, and that's what we're gonna go over today. Think of this process that I'm gonna show you as kind of like a color correction version for your audio files. Like you would go into After Effects to do special effects to your videos, the same way that you would go into Audition to do special effects and really specific editing to your audio files. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do everything in Premiere. So you can kind of think of this as like a basic run through of how to edit audio in Premiere. We're not going to go into Audition. That's like a whole new bag of donuts, and I don't really want to go over that right now. First things first, I like to put on a multi-band compressor and I set it to broadcast. This sets the standard for the audio file to be broadcast or online delivery ready. You can kind of think of this process as adding a LUT to your footage. It's not the be all end all, but it gives you a really solid starting point. Next up for me is something called a parametric equalizer. And I basically use this the same way that you would use the color wheels when you're editing color for your video. I use the parametric equalizer to try to find the imperfections in my audio file and then remove them so that I can get the best possible audio file for my project. Then once I'm done with those two processes, I throw on the smallest amount of noise reduction, just like I do with my video for that matter, just to get it extra clean and extra crispy for me and my preferences. You wanna be careful though, because too much noise reduction on your audio file makes it sound awful. Like this is with the noise reduction turned all the way up. And this is what it sounds like when I have it at an appropriate level. Very different. That's really all that I do with all of my audio files. In fact, the audio that you're listening to is the audio that I was showing you in the tutorial. It's kind of like an audio inception moment thing. The most important thing to remember about these processes though is that it is the basic correction of the audio file. This is not the color grade. This is the color correction. This is getting your footage and your audio to look and sound right. And then after that, that's when you start to stylize it. That's when you start to edit the audio so that it can sound appropriate for the scene. So once you get to that point, you can really start playing around and get the feel of the audio exactly where you need it. And that's gonna take you from good to great. And if you know anything about my YouTube channel, that's what we're all about here. Thank you so much for watching. I had a really fun time making this video. If you like this new format where it's kind of like pseudo narrative and a little bit more filmic, please let me know in the comments. Also be sure to like and subscribe. I put out one of these videos every single week. So catch you in the next one.